Yo, what's up, Tyre?
Hey, what's going on, dude? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Just at the crib, sipping on a little something.
I wish I was sipping on some. I'm sipping on some coffee right now.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
I need a little bit of a pick me up.
Yeah, man.
All right, let me adjust this real quick. Make sure we good and Gucci out here. When did you get back from out of town?
I got back Saturday night. So I went on a work trip Tuesday and got back Saturday. I was actually supposed to be back Thursday, but the weather was pretty terrible in Dallas, so I had to stay there for a couple of days. And yeah, I just got a hotel, which my company paid for, of course, and everything like food and Uber and all that stuff. So yeah.
That junk is so nice, man. How
Man,
nice is that?
man, it's crazy because when I was doing all that, bro, I was like, man, I spent about two of my own dollars this whole week. I was like, man, this gotta be a joke.
Yeah, no, man, it's definitely crazy. Yeah, I hope I never get used to it. Like it's something about us as being humans. We can start to get used to things like really quickly and start almost not appreciating it or start kind of being like, whatever type of thing.
Right.
But I guess if you get used to it, it'll definitely be hard to go to another type of job or industry where you don't get those same perks.
Right. Definitely.
All right, super cool, bro. So I guess we'll go ahead and officially jump into it. First, I guess I got to go over a few ground rules with everybody that's tuning in. Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Cyrus. For those who are just popping in who don't know me, I did a tech boot camp. At the time it was a 4-week boot camp. Now they have an additional optional extra 4 weeks after the boot camp. I'm gonna ask my guest like how long he did for the boot camp, but I did a 4-week sales engineering boot camp, and they helped me break into tech. Long story short, I used the tools, leveraged the tools that they gave me, that they taught me to help me break into tech with a barely six-figure salary. It was $90,000 salary, $72,000 base, and the rest is what's called OTE with uncapped commissions on top of that. And yeah, after a couple months of breaking into tech, I was like, yo, this is really dope. I want to tell people about this, tell my followers about it, my friends, family, all of that. And at first I didn't think anybody was going to care, but then I realized, okay, a lot of people care because a lot of people want to make more money. Many people want to work from home. They want some of the benefits and perks that myself and my guests are going to be talking about. And so, but then because of my large following, I ended up reaching out to the boot camp that I did and reached out to others and was like, hey, look, I have a pretty large following. Can you help my followers get discounts into your programs? And then that's when I found out the boot camp, basically like there's like a whole referral program with many of these boot camps. So essentially I help people get discounts into the programs. Maybe I'll ask my guest, CJ, if he does the same thing. But I help people get discounts into these boot camps. And the boot camps, they shoot me like a referral bonus on the back end, whatever. And I try to spend my in-between time giving people additional tips and stuff to make sure people are getting additional gems on top of what the boot camp gives you to help you break into tech with the best outcome as possible, and also how to scale once you actually are in tech. For those who are unfamiliar with what the tech industry is, it's also called the software industry. So Instagram is a tech company, Facebook is a tech company, Apple, Google, YouTube, Netflix, like in most companies you think of are all tech companies. TikTok is a tech company. It's a social media tech company. So the technology industry averages six-figure incomes. And yeah, blah, 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 blah. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and the kind of flow of the show or the live tonight, I'm going to be interviewing my guest and kind of really just letting it be very freestyle, just really organically, just kind of hearing his story. I know bits and pieces of his story, but I'm going to be interviewing him. And yeah, y'all know, as always, be respectful, be loving, be cordial, be respectful, be loving and cordial to one another in the comments. The same thing, especially for my guest who's on here. And then also for me, I have my second phone handy dandy. So if anybody gets slick, you're going to get blocked. It's going to be real easy peasy to do it. But for the most part, everybody here are good peoples, but that's for the weird eyeballs that are out there. So super, super cool, bro. So I've never actually, I guess, said your name, I guess, until a moment ago. So is it CJ or do you go by something else?
I go by CJ. Like I don't go by like my government name. My government name is Chester, but I don't go by that. So I just go by CJ.
Yeah, that's cool. My oldest brother, his name is CJ, but his government name is Chuck. So
Got you. Yeah, man.
all right, super cool, bro. So also thank you for being heavy in the comments, educating people.
Yeah.
so the times I go live.
A lot of people be lost in the comments because you're so busy like talking and interacting and stuff, so people don't see the comments. So sometimes I'll be on there, or E-Man, or who else be on there? Malachi be on there sometimes too, trying to help. So I just try to do my part.
Yeah, Kai has been on Instagram less and less because he's been really heavy on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Heavy, which is very smart to do. It's very smart to do. So yeah, I support him doing that. That's a very wise move to do. Super, super cool, bro. So man, dude, so tell me, I guess, like, what was your like, what got you curious about tech?
So what got me curious about tech? So my previous job I did before this, I was actually an engineer tech for a DoD company.
You said you were an engineer?
Engineer tech for
okay, so a software engineer?
More like a test. I did tests in RF, like radio.
Oh, right. like QA testing?
Not exactly. I just got the stuff that the engineers laid out, and I kind of tested them. Like, so these modules that we had for the F-35, like the F-35 jet, I did test.
Oh, crazy.
I did the RF testing on F-35 jets. So, but I was a tech. I wasn't like a full-blown engineer at all, doing that type of work. So the money wasn't all the way there. So I was making less than $50K doing that.
Yeah, that's one of the things I usually talk to people about. Where I mean, you know this now, but it's like there's two different sides of tech. There's like one side of tech where people aren't really getting paid really well, and then there's like this other side where it's like the salaries are booming. So that's interesting that you've had the chance to work on both sides of it. Right. Hey, but my bad. Go ahead.
Nah, yeah. So that's what pretty got my interest in tech, man. I wanted something to where I could hit that pay gap to where it's not 2% every year. I wanted something like 10% jump in salary. Yeah. And I wanted to have the option to work remote and not have the option to have to get up like really early in the morning. So for my job, I had to wake up like 4:45 or 5 o'clock. Yeah. So I was like, nah, I'm done with this. Like, I'm not gonna sleep. I'm suffering the back end. Like when I get home, like I'm exhausted. I'm tired. The money not there all the way. So to get into tech and have the option to work remote and have that big pay bump as well, and also staying into a career path that will continually increase me in my career and my mindset and my goals and the things that I want to accomplish.
Yeah. So before you did Careerist, did you check out any other routes to break into tech?
It's funny you say that. I did. I started on the A+, the Net Plus, the CompTIA route. Started that. Like I was in like A+ doing it, and then my homegirl, she actually sent me one of your lives. Like you were doing a tech Q&A like right now, and I seen it. I was like,
this man he capping.
Right, yeah. I was like, man, he capping, bro. So after a while, I was like, I'm gonna follow this dude though to see what he's talking about. Just do my little research. So I started following you, and I saw you went more live more often. But what really got me was the live that you did with E-Man.
Yeah, so, that was a good one.
It was just something about it, bro. It felt really genuine. Yeah, and I kind of felt like the spirit time I took it on my heart to say like, yo, listen to what they're saying. So it felt really genuine. Like it was a really genuine conversation, and that y'all weren't capping. So that's kind of like brought me to Careerist.
That's super fire. That's super fire. I never asked you. I should know this because we talk very on and off in the DMs. Time is like always a blur. So after you finished the boot camp, how long did it take you before you like got your offer letter to start at a company?
So I finished Careerist April 26th, and I got my offer letter July 7th.
April, May, June, July.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like about 2.5 months.
Yeah, about 2.5 months.
That's funny. So, I mean, you've seen enough of my lives. So you probably seen where people. I usually tell people how it took E-Man's wife 1 month to get a
Yeah,
job. It took me 2 months. Took Malachi 3 months. It took Tiffany 4 months, and
yeah,
E-Man 5 months. And
right,
so it's really funny, like how now it's like you fell in between me and
right,
Malachi
right.
2.5 months.
Yeah. So I caught that they was doing a Mother's Day sale, Careerist. So I
Yeah.
started March 26th or something like that. So I got like a huge discount on top of your code. So altogether, I think I paid like 2,400 to get it. And I was like, yo, this is,
Ooh, that's
yeah,
a
I was like, this is
sweet
a great.
deal. That's a sweet deal.
Yeah. So I got that Mother's Day discount plus your code. So I was like, yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
ooh, that's a real man. I bet your first paycheck probably covered that. You got it back your first
I got
paycheck.
your paycheck, bro. Easily. Easy.
Man, that's so good to hear, dude. Man, I'm not I'm not as like as sentimental or as an emotional person as I don't know. Sometimes the church or stuff makes me feel like I should be, but it definitely like man makes me incredibly happy, and it like touches me like really deeply like in my heart to see man just to see people winning, man.
Yeah.
See people doing these boot camps and to see it working out and stuff. Super cool, man. Super dope. So, all right. So when did you? I guess so. If it was April, so I did that live with E-Man. What was that like? February, Marchish,
Yeah.
something like that. So okay. So after you saw the live, how long did it take you before you were able to start the program?
After I saw that live, I actually watched it like 2 or 3 more times, honestly, just to have it fresh in my mind and just listening to that story because it was really powerful to me. I think I saw the sale probably sometime maybe between the March 15th and 20th, or maybe a little bit before that. And then class started. They do the cohorts by after graduation. So after my cohort was done, then I started on the 26th. Yeah.
And my bad, I'm doing everybody a disservice. You didn't do the tech sales. You did the same thing I did. You're a sales engineer like I
Yeah.
am. Yeah, so we're both sales engineers. So he didn't do CourseCareers. He did the same boot camp that I did, the Careerist boot camp, and he did the sales engineering course.
Right.
So all right, so you did the boot camp. 2.5 months later, 2.5 months after finishing the boot camp, you started at your company. So I guess in between that, let's talk about in between that. Like, so you finished Careerist. When you did Careerist, did you do the extra 4 weeks for the internship thing?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I just started working on LinkedIn and applying to jobs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For anybody who does Careerist, like I keep stuff a stack. If you do the sales engineering boot camp, you do not have to do that internship thing. It's some benefit to it, but it's not necessary. I don't think anybody should do it unless you do the tech sales with Careerist. But if you do tech sales, I tell people to do CourseCareers because I'm like, if you're gonna do tech sales, you might as well do something that's much more affordable, like CourseCareers. So what was your like process like? So you finished the boot camp. What was it like for you applying to companies, interviewing, stuff like that? Like how much of what Careerist gave you helped you was beneficial outside of just the certificate?
Mm-hmm.
And like what were some maybe additional things that you did that helped you out, helped you get hired so quickly?
So for me, again, LinkedIn, networking, just, interacting with people on LinkedIn, just even replying to comments, just liking stuff, and also doing those LinkedIn certifications. That's got like pinged for like an interview. So believe it or not, the hiring manager for Salesforce, the second day I graduated, he slid in my DMs on LinkedIn. I'm not gonna say his name or anything like that, but he slid in my DMs and made me a job offer. And I got to certain parts of the interview process, but unfortunately, I didn't make it, of course, because numerous people applying and all that stuff. But yeah, like the third day I was there, I had an interview with Salesforce. Like that's crazy to me. So I was very
That's
thankful
sweet.
for the opportunity, right?
Bro, when I finished the boot camp, literally like a week later, she's now the principal solutions engineer with Salesforce. Of course, just over one side because Salesforce is so huge.
Right.
She was the principal solutions engineer, and she hit me up on LinkedIn and was like, yo, I see, you know, I want to bring you on, whatever. I made a mistake because she thought I already was working at a company. And
Oh,
this was the first time I realized that companies want you more when they think you already work at a company.
exactly.
Because she wanted to interview me, but as soon as I told her, oh, actually, I'm not at a company right now, I just finished the boot camp.
Right.
She went ghost. Like ghost.
You got no
I was,
experience.
I was sick. I was like, oh, and that was my first time seeing that. I was like, oh wow. I said, okay, cool. But yeah, but it made sense because basically for her it was kind of like a Salesforce is such a big deal of a company.
Yeah.
But no, that's super dope though. So all right, so you had to interview him. So what was your, I guess, how did you stay motivated? Did you get discouraged throughout any point in the process? Like what were you doing to keep yourself like going?
Right. So after that, I was a little discouraged because I didn't make it, probably because of my experience, of course. But I just kept in contact with certain people, like E-Man for one, Kai,
Yeah.
Nigel. He was a big help as well. Like what can I do to bolster my resume? Same thing with those other people as well, and just being encouraged by people also on LinkedIn. So you definitely have to have a good circle around you to kind of uplift you during this process, which is a very good thing. So I would say working on your resume for one, keep working on it and tailoring it to make it job specific or even having more than one. But make sure the things that you put on there kind of correlate with what you know. Don't just put, AWS and cloud and software this and C++, like, because they're going to ask you. So they're going to.
Yo, they'll bust you out.
They will. So, so they're going to ask you all that stuff. So just make sure your resume reflects on what the knowledge that you know from Careerist and networking. That's the biggest thing. I would say it's 60% networking and then 40% applying, in my opinion. So that's what
that networking is huge. Anybody who's in Atlanta, if you're working to get in tech, there's an event happening in Atlanta next week called Black is Tech. Black is Tech. And they have a few different meetups for, like, if you're looking for a job, there are going to be different tech recruiters there, all of that stuff. So I definitely want to drop that plug so y'all can check that out. Even with what I'm doing outside of Instagram, but I'm building something right now where we could have like different tech events and people will be able to come out. Tech recruiters can be there to help like different people with certain opportunities. So that's super fresh. So how many rounds of interviews did you do with the company that you work at?
I want to say 4 rounds. I spoke with the recruiter. I spoke with the VP of sales. Then the president of sales, and then I did a final presentation round with the company of the sales team. It was like a 10-minute demo of software that I liked. That was it. So it was nothing crazy.
Okay, that's super cool. So the you don't have to say the name of the company or anything like that, because one thing that typically happens is people will hear it and they automatically gonna go and apply, and they'll try to throw you down as a reference like right away, like, yeah, CJ told me about that. But what does the company do, like the technology wise?
So we are a CMMS, a computerized maintenance management system. So all those that you might see, all the schools, all the infrastructures that are being built or that currently have things like ACs, fire hydrant, hallways, if you need it cleaned or anything like that. If a light goes out, for example, in your house, that get tracks in a maintenance management system like in your apartment.
Yeah.
So software that tracks that in the system to call out a technician, to call out somebody to repair it, the work order, the cost labor. Our computerized system does all of that. So
that's fire. So basically, a tenant doesn't even have to call the leasing office and be like, yo, my light went out or something went out. It's like the technology is able to send an alert to the proper people.
Yeah, something similar, kind of like that.
That's so cool. It's so wild how many different variations of technology there is and what all it can do and how it can mitigate certain certain like laborious things, which is what technology is meant to do. That's super far. All right, so let's get into the sexy stuff that people want to know, because this is the stuff I want to know. Let's get into the sexy stuff other people want to know, and feel comfortable with, you know, not fully answering something, whatever you're comfortable with. So the company. Let's jump into it. So you can either say the exact number, or you can go like it's in between this number and this number. But what was the offer that they gave you, like basically salary wise?
I'll be fully transparent. I'm all about that. So 90K starting salary, bro. So yeah. 90K.
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking in the DMs about how both of us, our first offer is $90,000.
Yep.
And but I was telling him that he still ended up better than me, because my offer with my first tech company, Dialpad, it was 72,000 base, 90,000 OTE. But yours is like a higher base than mine was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's super dope. I really love seeing people like get something better than me. I don't know why they not get me so hyped. I guess especially when people like find out about one of the boot camps through me, and it's like not only do you see, oh, it's legit, but it's like, oh, it actually worked out even better than what he said it worked out like for him. And so that's why I get crazy hyped with Tiffany, because I ain't gonna say exactly how much she started out at.
Yeah,
man, you know, especially because she's a black woman with dreads and all that. So she's supposedly supposed to be the bottom of the bottom in terms of America and society. And for her to end up with the best like outcome I've seen with anybody, that junk gets me crazy hyped. I love it. All right, so are you working fully remote, or is it hybrid, or what is it?
Fully remote. My company is based in Oklahoma.
Okay, so when you went on this trip with your company that you just got back from, was that your first time meeting your coworkers in person?
Yep, very first time. I met all my coworkers there. The company even flew some of them out too as well. So it's literally just like a meet and greet, to be honest. So it was just good bases with everybody and just kind of build rapport and teamwork with everybody. So we all just flew out there, met everyone. We worked for a little bit. We went to the game room. We played what is it? That air hockey and shuffleboard and ping pong and Mario Kart. We was just having a good old time, bro.
That's good. That's good. I'm assuming drinks were involved. Drinks always make it.
Yeah, we went out always make it. So.
No, that's super fire. That's super fire. I saw somebody in the comments say who was the lady, and I was like, what in the world are they talking about? Ooh. Anyway, no, I don't know. People are probably just talking crazy. Yeah, all right, so super cool. So what are some of the benefits that you got? Like some of the perks. So you're working remote, 90,000 salary starting out, 90,000 OTE. And it sounds like a really cool technology that's definitely needed and will definitely, I can and I'm sure it does more than just that.
Right.
But I can definitely see like why companies would want that technology. Like, you know, it makes perfect sense why schools would want it, why everyone would want it. Because again, it saves time. And, you know, I ain't about to get into the whole spiel because you can demo it better than I can. But speaking of, have you even started demoing yet? Like, have you even started like working yet? Yo, for everybody who is listening and you're thinking that you're interested in a career in tech sales, I suggest you check out CourseCareers. CourseCareers is a tech boot camp that you can do entirely from home. It's entirely virtual and it's self-paced. So that means you can knock it out in as early as 2 weeks or even take a few months if you need to. Now, the really cool thing about CourseCareers is that they're actually partnered with multiple tech companies that are hiring their students right after finishing the program. The great thing about CourseCareers is that with those partnerships, they're able to guarantee you jobs with some of their partner companies. Now, beyond that alone, the other cool thing we want to tell you about them is that CourseCareers is actually only $500. That's it, nothing more, nothing less. But since we partner with CourseCareers, they're offering our audience a discount of $50 off that already low price. So make sure you use our discount link that we have below, so that way you can take advantage of that $50 off that already low price. Do CourseCareers at your own pace and let us know what job you end up getting from it.
Nah, I've just been doing practice demos, to be honest, because I've only been there for like a month. So I'm probably going to demo for like probably another month and a half, 2 months, to be honest.
Okay, so it is a standard like 3 months of training.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, practicing with the other solutions engineers, just doing mock demos with them, things that I can improve on and, do a little better, of course, and just, trim the fat and just stick with what I need to know. So that first mock one, I started demoing a little everything, every tab, every click, every button there, like, yo, just do this right here. The customer might not even want to see that, only if they kind of like ask for it. So I was just showing them any and everything on that first mock demo.
Yeah, it's really funny. I'm changing the title because people keep asking if it's CourseCareers or Careerist. Blah, 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 blah. They're seeing. I'm terrible with like titling stuff. That's something I've never been good at.
It's all good, bro.
Okay, cool. We'll do that. Blue, 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 blue. All right. So yeah, for those asking, he did Careerist, the same bootcamp that I did. Like, CourseCareers doesn't offer sales engineering. So since we're talking about being sales engineers, it's always Careerist. Hey, appreciate that. Thank you, Regina. Love you too. Appreciate that. All right. So yeah, so it's really funny. Like, one of the things I'm always telling people are like, oh man, I'm so scared. Like, what if I'm not fully ready after I finish the boot camp or I don't have any experience? I'm always telling people like, yo, most tech companies you're going to be at, it's a standard 2 to 3 months of training. Like, so it's like, that's really nothing you have to worry about, So even Tiffany, I was doing some stuff with Tiffany this past weekend. It's going to come out soon. It's going to drop soon, but Tiffany has been at her company now for 2 months. Right. She is still not demoed yet. She's nowhere near demoing, and she's getting paid her full salary.
Yep.
And they've been giving her like bonuses and stuff on top of that to incentivize her to continue learning. Mm-hmm. So it's like getting paid dumb money just right. to learn, basically.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. When I have my one-on-ones with my VP, like, he's like, man, thank you so much for investing in us. Like, every time we have a one-on-one, he's like, thank you so much for, being patient with us. Usually it's like the other way around. Like, I would be like, man, thank you for being patient with me to learn your software. But it's like the other way around. So these companies invest in you to learn this thing. So they're like, yo, thank you for being patient with us and learning our technology and our software for you to demo it. So it's real different. Like, I'm so shocked. Like,
Is your company, is it a startup? Like, is it a relatively?
No, it's 88.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, my company has been around since like 88.
Oh, that's wild. What did it, when it first started, was it doing what it does now?
Absolutely not.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I was going to think, I was like 80. Well, that's a dumb question. The technology didn't even exist at that point.
Probably, but it has a different version right now. Back then it had like version 5. Now we're on version 7 of the technology that we have. So it wasn't as intuitive or as smart as it is now. Okay,
cool. So I'll ask a couple more questions, then we'll get into everybody's questions here. I know a lot of people got questions. Like, somebody asked what demoing is. Demo is another term for like doing a presentation of your company's technology. So think of it this way. Like, this is a oversimplification, but think of it like your grandparents want to start using TikTok or want to start using Instagram, and you're showing them how to use TikTok and Instagram based on what they want to use it for. So you ask them, okay, grandma, what do you want to use Instagram for? Do you want to make reels? Do you want to post pictures? Do you want to go live? Do you want to post stuff in the story? What do you want to do? And they tell you what they want to do with Instagram. So then once you have a list of everything that they want to do on Instagram, you give them a presentation on how they can use Instagram in the specific ways that they want to use it. So it's a presentation that's tailored to that specific person, but in this case, it will be a presentation tailored to businesses, or, in his case with his company, schools, apartments, things like that, entities, which are still businesses. Those entities are all still businesses at the end of the day. All right, so super cool. So what are some of the others? So you work remote, 90,000 salary, your company is out of state, it's in another state, you just met your coworkers. So what are like some of the other benefits in person? So you said when you were out of town, they covered all your expenses, the hotel, the food, all that good stuff. Outside of that, what are some of the other like cool benefits and perks and stuff that they're covering for you?
Okay. PTO isn't unlimited, but we do get a fair amount of PTO.
Yeah.
And also, we get a stipend every month for wellness and Wi-Fi, and for our office improvement as well. So we
Okay,
get,
so the wellness, like, basically it covers like your gym membership or something like that?
yeah, something like that. So it's like a big thing. You can use it for whatever you want. So we get
Okay.
that. We can put it towards, like, gym membership or wellness, and or buy things that we might need to improve our at home stay for working remote.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's super dope, dude. And you said they cover, like, do they cover, or do they give you a stipend for your Wi-Fi and stuff?
Nah, not exactly. But you can use that extra money that they give you a month to cover it. But I usually just use it for just improving, like, my space, like buying little things that make my life easier while I'm working.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I think that's dope. In reality, that'll probably be better because, like, my like, where I live at now, the Wi-Fi is included, so there is no Wi-Fi.
Oh,
So there's Wi-Fi all throughout the building.
yeah.
And so it's one of those things where I'm like, dang, since I don't have a Wi-Fi bill to even give to my company, I don't get nothing. So it's probably better. It'd probably be better if I had something like what you have, where it's like, literally, I just get an extra stipend and I'm able to use it for whatever I want to use it for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. So that's super fire anyway. So all right, so last questions, then we'll go ahead and jump into the questions that people put in here. So, man, what, in terms of your experience with being a sales engineer, doing Careerist, and now working in tech, working at this company, like, what are some things that really stand out to you, or really, like, touch you in a way that you're like, man, this is really dope, this is really different, and I think, like, people need to know about this?
I would definitely say the big jump that you get in pay, that kind of really, blessed me. I'm able to, help my mom, my grandma, and my family out. I'm a big family person, so that kind of really spoke to me. I'm a big giver, so I feel like the more I give, the more God will reward me for that. So I'm a firm believer in that as well. So definitely that, and the how people are kind of so nice. It's different. Everyone's, like, really nice in tech for some reason.
Yeah.
like what? Everybody's just so nice.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So everybody's like,
because folks getting paid good. When folks getting paid good, they happy.
I guess if you get paid good, everybody's just really happy. So I mean, it makes sense. So I would definitely say that, man. Everyone's really nice. Everyone treats you well. I have zero hiccups so far, like zero, bro. I've been there for a month and a half. I don't think I've been in any company where I've been in a month and a half and I have no complaints yet. The only thing I think of is, like, the company is on CT time and I'm on Eastern time. That's it. So they're an hour behind. So I get out of work 1 hour later. That's it.
Yeah. It's funny because this kind of reminds me of that live that E-Man and I did, where people were asking us, like, well, what are some of the cons? Y'all make it sound so good. Y'all make it sound so good. And we were like, I mean, it's just fire. Like, they're like, it's just fire. And, so it's funny hearing you say that, where you're like, yo, I'm like 6 weeks in, whatever. And it's like, I'm like, I really ain't got nothing bad to say. It's really nice.
Nothing, man, to be honest. And I would say just being in a field that has growth and progression, I would say I don't have to worry about what I'm going to do in the next 5 to 10 years.
Because it's so wild. Like, as much as you're making right now, you're at the bottom at the bottom of the totem pole. So it's only up from here, bro. It's crazy. It's so crazy, dude.
Yeah, this time next year, like, I should be making at least 150.
Yeah. I believe it. I mean, shoot, with E-Man in your corner, Nigel, Malachi, myself, like, yeah, we'll definitely give you some gems and stuff to, like, help you be able to get there. So you're gonna be super good, bro. Man, congratulations again, dude. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, bro.
All right, bro, let's go ahead and get to these questions. I know people, like, they tired of my questions. They like, no, answer what we want to talk about. All right, y'all. So put your questions in the chat box, in the question box, not the chat box. Put it in the question box. And feel free, CJ, we could do it this way. We'll leapfrog. I'll ask a question that's in the question box. If there's something you see in the comment section that you feel to address, you can do that. So we'll kind of leapfrog that way.
All right, that's cool.
I bet. All right, so next question. Next question. Oh man, that's such a bad habit. All right. So did Careerist require you to have sales experience when you did it in April?
No, I had zero experience. I sold knives with Cutco for like 2 months. That's the extent of my sales experience that I had.
So when you did Careerist, like no one said, hey, do you have a bunch of sales experience? Like they didn't say that was a mandatory?
No, not
That's
at all.
interesting. I wonder when they changed it then, because yeah, I
Well,
guess maybe they changed it after April. Maybe it was in May, because I know some people said maybe it's the advisors that people speak with. Maybe
yeah, it is. Like when I told him what I kind of did, since I was like an engineer tech, he was like, okay, that's cool. Then you can kind of do the sales engineer thing. So even though I didn't have any sales experience, he was like, okay, since you have some engineering experience, then you can probably do the sales engineering course.
yeah. Everybody, people who are on here, if you haven't heard me say this before, the only people with careerists that I don't like are the advisors. The career advisors,
Yeah.
I can't speak for all of them, but many of them are borderline trash. So they're clearly, it sounds like they're telling some people they have to have some type of sales experience. They're telling other people, well, you can kind of slide by with just this. But yeah, thanks for answering that. That's really interesting. That's some good insight.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is there a question that you see in the comments that you want to ask or answer?
It says, how long was your interview process and how long did it take you to actually start your new job after the interview process? I think I touched on this when you asked, but I'll answer it again. The interview process for me, for my company, was about, I want to say, a month. So I spoke with one person about like each week. So 1 week I spoke with the recruiter, then the next week the VP, then the president, and then I did my panel the following week. So it took about a month. And start your new job interview process. And I started July 25th at my job. So I found out I got the job July 4th, on July 4th, 4th of July, got my offer letter the 7th, and started on the 25th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that's good. So it sounds like literally you started 3 months after you finished Careerist, but you got your offer letter a little under 2.5 months.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's super fire. All right, so next question I have on here. Do you have a college degree?
In criminal justice, but so I've never used it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. And for anybody, I don't have a college degree at all. So I don't have a college degree, and he doesn't have a college degree in anything in regards to tech.
Right.
All right, cool. You can take the next question if you see one in the comments.
Let me see. There's a lot. I'm trying to see. CJ, what is your biggest obstacle switching jobs into your current position? The biggest obstacle. It's kind of just convincing whatever company you interview with why they should kind of choose you or pick you. So once you kind of have your personality down packed, well, I shouldn't say personality. Once you have your everything that you have to offer down packed, then I would say you have the best way of getting in, right? So once we get into something new, right, we always try to put like this facade on, right, Cyrus? Like, this is who I am, this straight and button up person, but we want to see your personality. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, don't be fake. Be you. So after the first couple of interviews, I was like, man, why am I not getting to the second round or third round or anything like that? Then I just started being myself, and everything just started flowing. Like, okay, all right, we're gonna call you next week, big dog, and
yeah, exactly.
And it just went from there.
Yeah, because the companies are, when they're hiring people, I mean, first off, they can tell when people are just being rigid, but unfortunately, when they don't see your personality, they can't tell if the real you is a good fit for their company culture.
Exactly.
So they're like, yo, they want to see if you're likable, if they'll enjoy you, because they know that, okay, you have some knowledge, you understand on a foundational level what being a sales engineer is. Right. But why should we hire you over someone else is if we actually like you, if we think we'd enjoy working with you, if we think the team would enjoy working with you.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that matters. It matters a lot because they don't want to. Companies don't want to hire someone and have to let them go after 3 or 4 months because that looks bad on the company's end for a bunch of reasons we don't have the time to explain. So companies really care to hire the right person that they feel is a culture fit. There's different terms for it, but they want someone that's a good fit for their culture that'll bring to life their culture and bring to life the team that they're working with. Yeah. So be yourself, like he's saying, be yourself, let your personality shine. Of course, be your professional, organized, competent self, but be yourself, be fun, be relaxed, all that good stuff.
Be transparent. So they love to hear like your backstory as well and how you got into it, where you're from, things that you like to do, you know, so those things are kind of important to them as well.
Yeah. But of course, the boot camp, the instructors at Careerist will teach y'all a lot of this. So they'll kind of go in on all of this stuff. Somebody asked, how's the scheduling with Careerist? So a lot of these questions y'all are sending in, I have FAQs in my bio that answers a lot of these general questions. So my FAQs answer this, but I'll answer this really quickly. How's the scheduling for Careerist? It's only 2.5 hours, 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
So usually it's either Monday through Friday or Sunday through Thursday, depending on when you end up doing it. And only requires 2.5 hours a day, really 2 hours, but the extra 30 minutes is if you're hanging out afterwards to do Q&A with the instructors, which is good to do. Mm-hmm. Same person asking what days of the week. I already answered that. Are there time options? No time options, but the classes are recorded. And they're in the evening. So depending on where you live, I'm East Coast. So the classes were 8 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. At night. What PM means night, anyway, so and someone asked, do sales engineers have to make cold calls? No, sales engineers don't do cold calls. Never done no cold calls. We don't do cold emails, none of that stuff. That's entry level tech sales roles.
Yeah, SDR, BDR.
Yeah. All right, bro. You can take it if you see another question.
How should we use LinkedIn to network? Just search and reach out to recruiters. To network on there, I would just honestly just start hitting the connect button. That's how I did. I just started connecting with people, obviously interact with people as well. So one of the biggest things that hiring managers saw from Salesforce, he was like, hey, I see you interacting with a lot of people on LinkedIn in my network. So just you liking stuff, commenting on stuff, and posting stuff, that really helps out as well. Just honestly hit the connect button, to be honest. People know what the game is on LinkedIn. They're going to know you just trying to network and build your followers and have more people to network with. That's all it pretty much is. And to reach out to recruiters, be personable as well. Don't just go in there like, hey, I'm trying to find a job. Don't be rude or nasty or anything like that. You know, their job is already hard enough. So
yeah,
stuff like, hey, thank you for connecting. I just did this program called Careerist. I have this much sales experience. I'm coming from this industry. What are some advice or some tips you could give me to help further my growth in this career path? Boom, just like that. Something like that. Short and sweet, right?
It's just social media. So
mm-hmm.
LinkedIn is social media just like Instagram. Instead of you just being on there willy-nilly for just no reason, instead of you just following people and connecting just to connect and follow and build your followers up, you're actually on there with an intended purpose. So when people post stuff, show love to their posts, comment something, but comment something that you think would get them to notice you or get them to respond and engage with you. Post things that are interesting. Post things that are showing your education based on either what the bootcamp taught you or what you've learned afterwards. Like you mentioned, network. I interviewed a Microsoft tech recruiter or a Microsoft recruiter this past weekend on my podcast. It's actually going to drop next week. And she literally gives crazy gems on what people need to do on LinkedIn to get a high-level tech company recruiter like herself to notice you and kind of go through with the interview process. So, all right, cool. We'll get to another question. Some of these questions are real kind of quick throwaway questions where so what is the travel percentage of your jobs? It depends on the company you're at.
Yeah.
So it
So
depends on the company. So there is no real answer to that, but you're not going to have to travel a lot.
right.
Yeah. What skills are most necessary to complete your day-to-day functions? Like the boot camp teaches you that. I mean, we can go through that, but that would take like 5 to 10 minutes to answer thoroughly. Just know that the boot camp teaches you that. So a lot of the things we're talking about, a good chunk of it, most of it, the boot camps train you, educate you on it. So understand we can't possibly teach y'all everything in a few moments, that because even the boot camp is crazy condensed. So don't try to learn everything on this live. Um, I saw someone ask in the comment section earlier, and I think that's a good question for you. They were asking if they said if Careerist, basically if they helped you get a job. So did they?
Like, did I use Jazz?
Yeah. So I guess first we need to explain, because everybody over here doesn't know what things. I have a bunch of new followers and
Right.
old followers and all of that. So can you explain what Careerist does with Jazz, or Jazz job application service?
Okay, so the job application service, what it does is it shoots out your resumes to a whole bunch of different companies, whether it be on Indeed, Glassdoor, Monster, all those job services providers. So it just shoots out your resume while you're like sleep at night. I think sometimes I woke up to like 20 emails saying thank you for applying, thank you for. Yeah, my hotline was blinging during the night. So. Yeah, it just pretty much just shoots out your job to different companies overnight and your resume. So
Hey, real quick, King Zay, I don't know if you're just kind of cracking or being funny, but chill out with the all caps and like let's keep it to like real conversations and stuff here in the chat. Respectfully, I'm asking you to respectfully do that, or I'm gonna have to hit the blizzak. I don't want to though. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
I just saw his comment, but yeah, so it's pretty much just a software system that applies to jobs for you and checks your resume.
Yeah. So did you end up doing any interviews with any of the companies they were applying to for you?
For Jazz, yes, I actually think I did. I landed two resumes from Jazz, but all the other ones I think was just really from me applying. No, matter of fact, no, I lied. So the company that I work for, I think it was from Jazz. So
oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy because when the recruiter had called me, I was wondering. I was like, I don't remember applying to this company. So it was probably from Jazz. So you try to keep like a record or a track like of the companies that that you applied with. But I guess I must have missed this one, and it's crazy. It's really a blessing. So I'm glad that they called me and they was telling me about the company and all of that, and now I'm with them. So I think I definitely got my job from Jazz.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Someone was asking, like, if we have to travel for the job again. We can't tell y'all how often you travel because it depends on the company that you're at.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're being a sales engineer, you're going to travel every now and again if your company is having conferences or if it's like a party. Like there was one company that I almost ended up working at. Literally, they would like rent out cabins up north where people snowboard and stuff. And they would rent out like a whole area full of cabins, invite all the coworkers in the company to come there, pay for everything, pay for the drinks, all of that, pay for the snowboarding. And they were just out there for like a weekend, snowboarding, drinking, partying by campfire, like wild stuff. Or like when I was with Dialpad, when I was with Dialpad, they sent me to Vegas. I went to Vegas. I went to Austin. And it was a good time. So 9 times out of 10, when you're traveling for your company, it's not really for work. It's like it's for like really for you to mix and mingle. It's for them to kind of build up a rapport. Y'all know them little whack companies, how their idea of building up rapport is a pizza party. Yeah. It's like instead of pizza party, imagine your company flies you and your team out for y'all to like, party, have a good time, have drinks, all of that. Like when I was with Dialpad and I went to Austin, they literally paid for myself and my team just to bar hop. We literally were bar hopping like crazy. And Yeah, so yeah, Dial Pad has really good perks. Yeah, anyway, my bad. Are there any other questions that you see that you want to, or what other question do you see you want to get to?
CJ, how much time average did you spend interviewing a week until you got a job offer? I would say I probably had like 2 or 3 interviews a day, I want to say. So probably each interview might have been like 30 to 45 minutes to an hour. So probably like 2 to 3 hours a day, maybe, like doing that. So I'll get off work, jump on an interview, and then have another one like maybe like an hour later, and then maybe one at the end of the night with a recruiter. So probably like 2 to 3 hours a day, I would say.
Yeah, one consistency that I've noticed with the people who've gotten jobs the fastest after doing Careerist is basically the dedication. So like y'all, when you finish the boot camp, they give you all the tools, they give you all this cool stuff, but it's important that you don't treat it as if they just hand you a job afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You need to treat it like it's your job to get a job afterwards.
Yep, the job is getting the job.
Yeah, like so treat it like that. So it makes sense that you say, yeah, you spent like 2 to 3 hours a day you know, either interviewing or doing what you needed to do to get a job. Because that was the same thing with myself. Like I was not playing at all.
Man, I wanted to get my foot in the door so bad.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you definitely got in there, so that's super dope.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. Yeah, that's a good question. Somebody asked, what are your work hours? I mean, you kind of addressed it, but you didn't say the actual hours.
It's 8 to 5, pretty much. So, but am I working 8 to 5? Nah.
Yeah, Tiffany. I probably shouldn't share all of this because this episode is gonna drop soon. But
Right.
Tiffany was saying like she does not work 40 hours a week. But
Right.
she said nobody on her team does, and that's not because they're lazy. It's just that's the expected workload type of thing. So y'all will know like once y'all are working in tech, particularly some of the roles like the role that we're talking about, there is no like you for the most part, especially once he's done with training and stuff, like once he's fully done, you have full control over your schedule. Mm-hmm. So if you want to take a 2-hour lunch in the day, you can do that. Mm-hmm. You know, now is that the best thing to do every single day? Probably not, because then that could affect like your performance, stuff like that. But it's like you control your schedule. Like if you want to get off work at 2:30 because you have something to do that day, you can do it and not even have to tell anybody. Like you can do it, and the only time anybody will ever really bring it up just to ask is if it's like a ongoing pattern.
Exactly. Yeah. I've never been about anything during time like, hey, you've been yellow too long. You've been away too long on Teams. Like I've never ran into that issue yet.
Yeah, no, that's not really a thing. They're usually pretty. I mean, at the end of the day, like when you're doing your job, you know, and you're present, you're available, all of that stuff. Ain't nobody at these companies really tripping on you.
Right. To be honest, as long as you do your job, nobody's gonna bother you. To be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, let me look in this question box, see some other questions that are sent in. All right, someone asked, how old are y'all and where do you see yourself in 5 years? So either one, I will continue being a sales engineer until I'm an old man, or two, I do foresee what I'm doing right now growing and maybe eventually me just doing this. But right now, but I'll probably continue being a sales engineer in the foreseeable future. It really depends on what the demand is for this. If the demand continues to grow, then I'll probably do all of this stuff full time. Not necessarily Instagram, but like my YouTube, podcast. But as my following grows, I do want to, right now, I want to start working with tech companies. Right. So something that I'm working on doing, and I have no problem like sharing this because I hope other people are inspired who have large followings to do the same thing. One of the things I'm working on doing is as my following grows, one of the reasons I want to have like tech events, like I want to start my own tech events, is for the goal of, clearly I'm telling people about tech boot camps. I want to set it up to where when I tell people about these different tech boot camps, when people finish the programs, I can invite people to my tech events where I have other tech companies there and hiring managers there so people can get hired on. And in the in between, I want my podcast. I'm going to bring on hiring managers, recruiters, and different like people in high positions at tech companies to give people all the tools and all the gems on how to get hired at their company. So basically, I'm trying to create a more consistent pipeline to get people hired, to tell people about the boot camps, give them a discount, give them gems by posting stuff on IG and on YouTube, help them know which companies are about to be hiring. Eventually, I'm going to try to start interviewing startup companies, so companies that are really looking for people to bring on. And also educate people on how to scale in tech. So I've mentioned this before. I technically could like not work in tech anymore with kind of how it's going, but it's like at the same time, I want to stay in this space heavily because I want to absorb more information and more knowledge so I can continue being a good resource.
Exactly.
But yeah, so anyway, but if it doesn't grow, if it just kind of like stales out, I'm totally cool. I'll just be a sales engineer for the rest of my life. And maybe as my income grows, I'll become a real estate investor. I'll take my tech money and invest it into other stuff. I have a lot of homeboys that have been in tech for a long time, and their tech salaries are like over $300,000 annually, and they make about as much money or more in real estate and in Airbnb and Turo now, but they make so much money because they take their tech money and invest it into those other things, and their other stuff is scaling like crazy. So because they're working in tech, they don't have to touch any of the money that's cash flowing from their other businesses, so they're able to continue. So it's just really wild. It's really dope what they're able to do. But yeah, what about you? Like, so this is a big question because literally you just started, you just broke into tech. But like, so far, what do you see? Do you see yourself being a sales engineer for a long time, or what? What do you think?
Absolutely, bro. I believe this job was kind of tailored for me. I'm a people person. I like communicating with people, and I'm also a nerd at heart. So the two kind of just combined. So my interpersonal skills, bro, just talking to people and loving technology. And that's pretty much what it is, man. I really felt this was like God tailored. I was like, man, I really want the option to work from home, talk to people, make good money, but still be like a little nerd on the side. Boom. I just dropped this dead in my lap, bro. And for me, my growth, I definitely want to be like a solutions architect or a sales architect.
Yeah.
Like years from now, man. Like the sky's the limit, bro. Like I'm not gonna limit myself. So I'll definitely stay in the SE or SA realm. Definitely.
Yeah. So for those that don't know what a solutions architect is, and correct me on anything that I might be wrong about. I'm pretty sure, I haven't looked at it in a while, so I'm pretty sure I remember exactly what it is. But a solutions architect is like the other side of the coin of being a sales engineer. So sales engineers, we're considered pre-sales, where we do the presentation of the product or the technology. But after the prospect becomes a customer, you never, as a sales engineer, we never see them again. Like we're not even a part of the deal once they buy. After they buy, that's when the solutions architect comes in, which is the other side of the coin. And now they help the customer implement that technology or software with their actual company.
Right, or do something customized for that software that we not necessarily offer from like our base product, but create like a custom solution for them. That's what solution architects might do as well.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Someone said that do they make people pay for Jazz now? Do you know when you did it, you had to pay for it? No. You pay for Jazz after a certain point. So I think for the first month to 2 months, Jazz is free.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah, the first month of Jazz is free, but after that,
then you pay. Continue to use it. So kill it. So use that. Kill it. Like do Careerist once you're done with the program, and now you're in the Jazz Pro program. Treat that 1 month like, yo, I gotta go all the way in. Like, don't play around. So that way you don't have to pay for nothing.
Right.
Yeah, I personally think it's whack that they do that, but at the same time, the Jazz thing is really fire. Yeah, so it's like, I guess it makes sense because they make sense for them to do that.
Right.
Well, look, I'm sorry, we got to jump off real quick because Instagram, the time's about to run out, and if it
Okay.
gets to like 30 seconds, Instagram just deletes this live. So, bro,
Oh,
thank you for coming on, bro. I definitely want to bring you on again. Y'all have a blessed night.
all right.